Hey, I'm Carrie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the first time. All around, welcome. I'm Carrieblogger, a career freelancer on Fiverr.com, where I've been selling as a Fiverr Pro verified copywriter for about the past 8 years. And in today's Freelance Friday video, I am so excited to be doing my first kind of writing workshop. And I'm going to be editing / talking through 3 submissions that I got from viewers like you. I'm so excited about this. This is basically part 3 in this little series within a series. Video number 1 was me roasting / editing, talking through a blog that I wrote back in January of 2014. Part 2 of this video series was me revealing my rewrite. Now that we're in 2020, we are several years down the road, and I have, I think, improved a ton. And so I wanted to rewrite and show where I'm at today. And then this is part 3 and going through some submissions that you guys sent in. Thank you so much to Sandra, Joe, and Teddie for taking part in this little experience. And even if you didn't take part, hopefully looking at their writing and my thoughts on it, we can get a little bit better at the writing thing. So again, as I've said in all of these videos, I've taken out the brand name because this is basically fake at this point. It was a real project in 2014, but I just have removed their name. Brand is an organization that acts as a connecting point for the less fortunate and the needy. Okay, so I talked a bit about this in my own roasting of myself. I feel like this whole thing should just get chopped because it's just unnecessarily wordy and it kind of delays the punch. So brand connects, and then here it kind of is saying that they connect the same audience. So the giver and receiver thing is part of this brand idea. So to rewrite the needy and the less fortunate, you're just saying the same audience twice. So I think that we need to come up with, like the generous and the needy or something, but we can't say the same yet. Okay. We are often referred to as a giver and receiver organization. So the giver and receiver thing, I'm going to capitalize just because they were using it as like their term. So that makes it more, obviously not like trademarked or anything like that, but more of a title within the branding rather than just 2 words. I also don't think that people would refer to the organization and giver and receiver. So that's a little bit of an odd way to phrase it. But even if they did, I would like put hyphens in here and make it like a title, like they're a giver and receiver. You're tying that in together, but this doesn't super make sense to me, but that's okay. We advocate enhanced, so advocate for, usually you have this like filler word that we're kind of missing right now. We advocate for enhanced transparency throughout the gift giving process. Cool. We should just finish that sentence there. By allowing, I also should notice, I don't like starting the same sentence with the same word. If I can do anything to get around that, I will. And often that's just literally moving a sentence to the next line. Like we can just do that and then all of a sudden we're not back to back with we this. So by allowing you to purchase with confidence, so the allowing to thing is like passive. It's we allow you to purchase with confidence. It's not very strong. So we're just going to get rid of all of that. Maybe we can work in the purchase with confidence thing elsewhere, but, and then knowing that, I wrote that in my original draft and it's just so passive sounding. So no money, that was dumb. No money goes toward administration costs. And I probably should say administrative. I think I wrote administration the first time in my draft. I know that's like so chopped down, but honestly, I think that that's stronger than all of that. No money goes toward administrative costs. And, we could just do this. And we can do this instead. No money goes toward administrative costs, and we advocate for enhanced transparency throughout the gift giving process. That's clear. That's pretty good. Enjoy added peace of mind. I do it too. I say peace of mind. But I think it's a little cliche in this setting. And I try really hard not to do it because I know it's a cliche. Yeah, so let's just take that out and just say, in this too. with the knowledge that, again, that's like knowing that it just doesn't need to be said. Just say it as it is more directly. Your full Amazon price goes to support your intended receiver. Again, this is an example of 2 words that are repeated in the same sentence. We could do it better. So we could say the entire, I also like full, entire sounds a little more correct. The entire Amazon purchase price. No, I won't do that to you. Full is fine. Sorry. The full Amazon purchase price goes to support your intended receiver. Cool. And again, I would be capitalizing receiver. Personal choice. That's not a grammar thing, but that's how I would do it so that it fits the brand a little more. Okay. Receivers can register through the site and share their stories of need, hardship, and inspiration with the extended brand community. I would put this as an or because we already have the same and in there twice. Simple way to get rid of that repetition. Receivers can register through the site and share their stories. So, I talked about this a bit in my rewrite, my reveal. So this is where you get into a tricky situation of trying to talk to your audience, but you have 2 separate audiences. So that's really, really hard because you're talking about receivers like as them. So it's like you're talking to either the givers or nobody. So they can share their stories of need and hardship. But that means that all of a sudden the givers are your primary audience. And that's really not true. It's a split audience. So as I mentioned in my version, I tried really hard to speak to them directly, individually, to get away from this awkward, like, third person, who am I talking to kind of issue. So that shows up here with this. So they can register through the site and share their stories of need, hardship, or inspiration with the extended brand community. And I think I even wrote, this is my original writing, this word extended, but I don't think it needs to be said, so we should just take that out. Brand is a comfortable place where you can request the help, I would say, that you need. I like the word that. I probably use it more than most people or more than I need to, but I think it pads things really well. Makes it sound more conversational too, usually. So where you can request the help that you need and potentially receive support from new friends worldwide. I think I wrote around the world, and so she shortened it to worldwide. It feels a little more crisp. Cool. We encourage our users to choose Amazon So we encourage, again, it just feels a little bit too passive. And it's not even like a literal, like, that's the passive tone in grammar. I'm just saying it could just be sharper. So like literally just say choose. Or like receivers choose. Well, yeah, I mean, it just, how can we make it to the punch faster? So receivers choose Amazon products that will benefit their family, rather than receiving random products that are selected by, I'd say, like outsiders. Then I could make it 1 word shorter, or governing charities. So a little bit of this just felt like the parts of my sentences were disjointed here. In all, this is, I think, too long. I am not against a long sentence. I have really, really long sentences, I know, but the pacing of it feels long. Receivers choose Amazon products that will benefit their family rather than receiving random products that are selected by outsiders or governing charities. You know, now that I'm reading it, it's fine. The length is fine. I take it back. Brand takes pride in connecting. So this is a good example of just we, because I took out the we up here, so I can just speak from the brand. We take pride, or we are proud to connect. No, I won't change your words. You're fine. You're fine. We take pride in connecting your needs. So again, here's the you versus they question. All of a sudden now we're talking to receivers directly, even though we weren't a sentence ago. So that's something to watch out for. We take pride in connecting your needs with real people who can and want to help you. So the word you, I think, got added. I don't think that was in my original version. I think it's a little clunky. I don't think it needs to be said. So we're just going to take that out. And then this is a fantastic example of proofreading when we couldn't decide which one of those punctuation was going to be there. So always proofread. And my proofreading rule is that anytime I make a change, to it while I'm proofreading, I go back and do it again because my final round of proofing needs to be just no changes at all. That's if I made any kind of change, back to the beginning, do it again. Okay? Givers have a unique opportunity to meet, talk with, and befriend the person who receives the gift through brand. So the through brand thing, it just feels like an unnecessary tag at the end. I think this is kind of related to my original writing. I didn't like the pacing of it. It's okay. It just feels a little clunky. Meet, talk with, and befriend. I would almost say like pacing wise, I would rather put meet, befriend, and talk with, because then we have matching, moving on. Pace, like cadence wise. But in the order of you would meet someone, you would talk to them, and then you would befriend them. That's like the logical order of those verbs. So this isn't great, but I'm just going to go from a writing standpoint right now. Okay, our online forum has listed stories from our clients. So it's weird that we're calling them clients because they have never been clients before. They were called receivers. And then the has listed is like in the past. It's a double past tense thing. So I would just say like our online forum is filled with, oh my gosh, my I's and my L's on my MacBook are killing me. They are so sticky, but everything is closed because we're in a pandemic and I can't go to get fixed. Our online forum is filled with stories from receivers. I don't know. I mean, it's just, that didn't make it any better, but okay. Sorry, Sandra. To help you choose the receiver that you would like to help. Oh, this is another example. Proofing didn't happen. Oh, no. So this is going to turn into, one whole sentence. So you can, can choose who you would like to help. So now this turns into, our online forum is filled with stories from receivers, so you can choose who you would like to help. Great. So that's an example. It just didn't get proofed correctly. Another thing, personal pacing wise, I really like to use comma so blank. I probably overuse it more than I should. That's fair. But I feel like it's just a really nice way to say a truth and then say the implication of that truth. Our online forum is filled with stories. That's the fact. And then why does it matter? So you can choose who you want to help. I really like that structure. We ask you to make connections with them via Skype. So again, it's like, who are you talking to? That's the rough part of this rewrite. With them. So in this case, you're talking to givers, but that hasn't been clear through this whole thing. And then we ask you to, again, it's like the punches over here. Just make connections. I love to start sentences with a verb. Why not? Also, this is not focused on my face anymore. There we go. Make connections with them via Skype. So the sentence is too short now, but it's more straightforward at the very least. Okay. It would be useful to share. So it would be useful. Also, the word would is like the weakest on the planet. It would be useful. It's like, it is. It is useful. It is powerful. It is important. Like literally important is such a lame word, but that has more weight to it than it would be useful. Okay. To share your friendship, compassion, and understanding with others who may be interested in our service. So again, the may be interested, really weak. Interested in our service, that sounds like you're almost expecting them to like bring people into the platform a little bit. So I think that this just should get chopped entirely. With others who like need the help, or I don't like that phrasing, but that's why people would sign up to receivers, not because they're interested in your service. So, put it back on what really matters. We believe that companionship is the best gift you can give. I appreciate that they're not just repeating friendship. I think I wrote friendship in my version. The word companionship is a little odd to me personally, but not wrong at all. Brand is wholeheartedly committed to connecting people with this rewarding process. So if you connect someone with something, that means that you are giving that to them, but you are really connecting people through the process. The people are who is connecting, not people being connected with a process. So we're going to change that to through. Oops. I like the wholeheartedly. I mean, it's like that is a filler word to an extreme, but it fills it with emotion, that is why you pick filler words, is to add emotion and like some kind of brand personality and voice, not just extra words at the end and start. Okay. Our focus is and always will be to, again, proofing, we just like miss the other half of our comma. So if we have our focus is comma, and then we have an aside, the aside has to end at some point. Otherwise it just keeps going for the whole sentence. So our focus is and always will be, that's the aside, to remain, to help people in the community less fortunate than others. Our focus is and always will be to help. It sounds like you just thought of something and then changed your mind. To help people in the community less fortunate. I would say like to help others help others. Like that's might not be the most smart thing I've ever written, but thank you, Sandra, so much for doing this and taking part and being open to my thoughts and edits. And I'm not roasting you. I swear I'm not roasting anyone. My biggest comments are, how do you talk to a split audience at once? That is a common challenge, especially for a platform that connects people, or like software as a service that is dealing with different industries that you can't talk to unitedly, or it's really difficult to talk to them as a unit. That's a very, very difficult challenge. And as a copywriter, you have to know who your audience is and be consistent about talking directly to them. So that's a big thing that came up in this version. We've talked about a lot of these just unnecessary fillers, kind of sentence phrases where you can just get into the verb. You don't have to frame it, just say it. And then the other thing is just proofreading. You got to proofread more. And anytime that you make a change, that was an edit. You have to go back again and proofread again. Next up, Teddie. Thank you so much for doing this and taking part. Brand is a community that connects the needy and the benevolent. We like to call them givers and receivers. I really like this we like to call them thing. This is a twist on what I had originally written. And I think that it is a much better phrasing than just putting needy and benevolent and givers and receivers back to back. That is really cool, smart. And again, I personally would be capitalizing this so that they are very clearly a pillar of the brand. So here we still have this like filler stuff before we get to the verb, but adding the word community here is fair because it's showing the other side of the platform, not just the charity element, but also the community piece. Enjoy transparency throughout the gift-giving process. Fine. Purchase items with confidence, knowing that the worth of the product goes straight to support your intended receiver without any pesky, unearned administration fees. So again, I think I wrote administration. I would call it administrative because administrative is like the adjective applies to fees. We also have 2 sentences in a row that start with a verb. I just said I love to start with a good verb, but I also don't like to start with the same kind of sentence structure. So I would flip that in some other way so that I don't do that. This would probably take me a bit to flip around. Okay. Purchase items with confidence, knowing that. So again, this knowing that thing, that was something I wrote way back then. I don't like it. I would literally just say, I would start here with my sentence, and then I got rid of the repeated verb kind of pattern. So the entire, and I wouldn't call it worth, I would say cost, because something is worth something, but it's like assigned to cost. I don't know. The entire cost of the product, and I wouldn't say straight to, it's like an unnecessary, I get the point of it, but I don't think it's necessary. The entire cost of the product goes to support your intended receiver. Again, I think this is kind of my writing, because you guys were just editing. I get that. But there are some things in my writing that I just think that really could have been phrased better in the first place, which is hence why I completely demolished and completely started over when I did my rewrite. Not just little tweaks, but just writing it better. So the entire cost of the product goes to support your intended receiver So one thing that in my writing I fixed was that the Amazon wishlist thing was just not clear in this kind of text. So that's what needs to be cleared up. It's not literally that the sentence is that bad, but the explanation of how it works with it, the receiver makes a wish list and then the giver buys something off of that wish list, like a registry, that's what's not clear. And so that's really the issue here more than anything else. Unearned is a little bit odd, and pesky is also a little bit of an odd choice, I think. Pesky is more like annoying, and I think that if you're donating to charity and your money is not going to the person, that's not like annoying. That's more of like an ethical issue. So I think that pesky is a little bit more on the superficial side. And unearned just has a weird connotation of almost like theft in this kind of charity situation. And I don't think that we want to be in like negative like that. So I would personally just take both of those out, because you also have to think of how people skim across content. And there are times to be negative or to like frame things compared to a negative, but you have to think about how they are skimming through content. And if all I saw was pesky and unearned as I'm going through this, those, I don't know, might catch my attention. Okay, so this would just need to get rewritten for actual explaining clarity, but receivers can register through the site to share their stories of need, hardship, and inspiration with the extended brand family. Changed it to family instead of community, which makes sense because we are over here using the word community. Cute. I like that that's not repeating. Again, we've got this like, you can do this. I would even just say, I don't know, maybe that should be there. I don't know. Their stories of need, hardship, and inspiration with the extended brand family. Extended makes more sense here. I chopped it out of hers because the extended community didn't make sense. But extended family is a phrase, and that makes it fit more neatly. So that's okay. This is an open, safe community where you can feel comfortable asking for help. I like that. Comfortable to ask for help. Good addition. Meet new people from around the world as you share and read through real-life experiences on the blog. Meet new people from the world to share and read through. So who is doing the sharing, though? Because the receivers are doing the sharing, not the givers. So this feels like you're just talking to the wrong audience, potentially. But I also like the real-life experiences thing, pointing out that it's not abstract, people need you, they need help. It's like, I need help, real life. I would split this into a whole new section because we're talking to a new audience now. So givers have a unique opportunity through brand. I kind of did this, I think, in my original writing. I would put this over here. And then I would just take it out because we're talking about brand right now. We don't need to say through brand you can do this necessarily. So givers have a unique opportunity to meet, talk. You have to talk with somebody. You don't just talk. I'm a Oxford comma girl to the end, so we're going to put one of those in right there. And befriend the receivers. Oops. I did the same thing to her, so it's the same conversation of the order of that, the pacing of that. Moving on, interact with those that touch your heartstrings on Skype. So it's like, this is another one of those like heartstrings doesn't, it's in the wrong part of the sentence, or like the on Skype. Interact on Skype with those. It's not, people don't touch your heartstrings on Skype. You are interacting on Skype with those that touch your heartstrings. Microsoft seems to think that should be one word. I agree. Interact on Skype, and I would probably say like, we just said meet, but interact seems a little bit sterile. So I would probably choose a different verb there. Interact on Skype with those that touch your heartstrings to really talk about your problems. And I would say like, I don't know what I'd say. But really talk about your problems. Again, it's who are you talking to here? We have that issue again forever and ever. Your problems. You're talking to givers right now. That's who the sentence was saying you're talking to. So your problems isn't necessarily true. It's really, I don't know. So the question that continues. And really talk about your problems. The really talk about, it just feels like a weak phrasing. Again, I would pick a different verb, and then the your issue is a problem. Sometimes a total stranger is the best person to open up to. I like the sentiment of that, but I wouldn't necessarily say a total stranger. I might say a compassionate stranger. The heart in it, not just distance, but why people are getting together. That's the deeper story here. Choose needed Amazon products for yourself and your family instead of pre-chosen impractical products governed by charities. Choose needed Amazon products for yourself and your family instead of pre-chosen impractical products governed by charities. Something about the end of this sentence with the governed by doesn't feel like it fits, but I'm going to leave your sentence alone. It's not that bad. Brand connects your needs to real people who want to help. I like that. And I like the exclamation point there. There's not many in here. You should use them very sparingly, but it's a strong, crisp statement. And I would move to a next paragraph there. It's not just about the material items, but bringing a community together and helping those in need feel cared for and loved. I would use a semicolon here, or I would say, ooh, yeah. Okay, this is gonna work. Okay, so I like the sentiment a lot. I liked what was going on there. It's not just about the material items. We connect communities and help those in need feel loved and cared for. That's how I would edit that sentence. I like it. That's how I would do it. Friendship, compassion, again, Oxford commas forever. Friendship, compassion, and understanding are all key characteristics of friendship. Oof, no, because we have the same thing there. We'll just change it entirely. Openness, compassion, and understanding are all key characteristics of friendship. But I just feel like this doesn't really say anything because we're not talking about friendship as a whole. We're talking about the brand and what the brand does. I would say this. Or something like that. Just get to the point of how it affects the reader, how it affects the brand. How is it actually relevant? Not in an abstract sense, but actual reality. Share. Ooh, I'm going to say share with. Yes, share with openness, compassion, and understanding. Brand believes, I would say believes that. Again, that word. Brand believes that kindness is the best gift one can give. I like that. The kindness thing hasn't been mentioned throughout the rest of the thing. So if I'm going to summarize at the end, I might choose a different word, or I would put kindness in somewhere else so that it makes it like a pillar of the brand. So you're actually like summarizing something that's already been said rather than like throwing in a new concept at the end, which of course kindness is just an emotion, or, you know, not an emotion, social skill. I don't know. But it's on the same line as everything else that's been said, but it hasn't actually been said. So, all right. Nice job, Teddie. Thank you. We had fewer issues in this one. We ran into kind of the same issues though. We had a couple proofing errors. Some of these just unnecessary sentence starters could be trimmed way the heck down. And then for you, also we had the who am I talking to question, the big question of all of us. Who am I talking to? And just some of our verbiage needs a little bit of potential love and thought and care. But in general, I like it. Also, I'm going to make a real quick, because this video is already so long. Here's my plug for the Oxford comma. I don't have a great example, but let's see if we can do it right now. So if I say, today for lunch, I ordered a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, mac and cheese, and I don't know, what's another food that has two things? Is this a real food? I don't know. Crab and grits. I don't know if grits and crab is a thing. So in this thing, we have lists with groups of two. This happens all the time. Peanut butter and jelly, mac and cheese, and crab and grits. If I take out this, then all of a sudden it's confusing where my distinctions lie. I ordered a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, mac and cheese and crab and grits? Or is it mac and cheese and crab and grits? Or is it mac and cheese and crab? That's the question. So anytime that we can make it clear for our audience how we separate those things in a list, love it. So I personally, no one can ever convince me that the Oxford comma, meaning that you put your comma before the last part of your list of 3 or more, no one can ever convince me that that's not a good idea. Try to convince me that that's not a good idea. I will listen and I will take your advice to heart, but there are way too many situations where Oxford comma just adds amazing clarity. Moving right along. Joe, thank you so much for taking part in this little challenge, submitting this, being open to my thoughts and feedback and advice. Thank you so much. You did the most changing up. So you were the only one that actually changed kind of the framework of the page. When I rewrote mine, I turned it into a fully formatted about page. I didn't just sit with the paragraph blog status. So thank you for being creative in that way. And we'll see how this goes. Share your stories of need, connect with givers around the world, and build friendships that will last a lifetime. So again, clarity with our Oxford comma. So if I'm just blowing through the sentence and I said, connect with givers around the world and the universe, like where does the and go? World and what? But now I say connect with givers around the world. I pause naturally because there's a comma there, and build friendships that will last a lifetime. So this is a great use of talking to everybody at once. We have the thing that applies to the receivers, share your stories of need. We have, I was about to give you a compliment, but that's not true. This is just written for receivers, guys. So I was wrong. This is just for receivers. So share your stories of need, receiver. Connect with givers around the world, receiver. And build friendships with a lifetime. Technically both, but in this case, we're going to assume it's just for receivers. So that is a little bit of an oops because our first impression needs to target everybody and make everyone feel like, yes, I should continue reading this page because they're talking to me. And I've already been talking so long that I'm literally using my voice right now, losing my voice. But let's keep going. Okay. Brand is an open and transparent community that helps those in need and fosters relationships that transcend the internet. Yeah. This transcend the internet thing, I get what you're saying, but it doesn't really make sense, honestly. I would say, I mean, I get what you're saying. I get it. That, I don't know. I'd have to think. I'm not good at editing stuff. This is why I just write it myself, so I'm in control. I get it. I just don't like it. Sorry. I don't have a good suggestion, though. It'd be like something from like offline to online, or like makes a difference in like real world every day, or like tangible impact. Something like that. Something that's a little bit more like, I don't know, person driven. The internet thing doesn't make sense to me, I guess, is the real issue. So, headline, how does it work? I talked about this just a sec in my rewrite that I posted on Tuesday. I don't like to use questions as headers because this is the big text that's taken up the main real estate on the page, and I feel like it's just a waste to ask a question but not answer it. The page is not long enough that people are skimming and looking for the how's it work section. So I would write this as, actual information as my header, and just tell a summary of an important fact. Okay. First, receivers share who they are. So here we're not being consistent. So you capitalize receiver, but we didn't capitalize givers. So I like that, but we need to do it all the time. First, receivers share who they are, their hardships, and their dreams. So this is an example of it doesn't really fit consistently with my list. Their hardships, their dreams, who they are. I would say like share their history, and then hardship and dreams. Also here you're using an Oxford comma. You're doing it here, so you have to do it everywhere. If you're going to do it, it has to be consistent. I also would just take out first. I mean, I get it, but I just don't think it's really necessary. That's totally up for debate. You can say, no, I don't agree with you. That's fine. Receivers share their history, hardships, and dreams. It's a little short, but I think it's more clear. Givers can read all of these stories and reach out directly to those in need. So reading all of them doesn't really need to be said. But it's okay. It just feels a little bit unnecessary. I'd say just read these stories. Reach out directly. That's a nice qualifier. To those in need. I liked what Teddie put about like with those that touch your heartstrings, or like some reason that you would choose to talk to that person. But directly to those in need is fine. It's cool. Okay. Through Amazon products. So again, this is where my original version was not clear. The Amazon wish list thing just didn't totally click. Maybe it didn't click with me. Sometimes that happens. If I just don't quite understand what I'm talking about, I will then by default explain it in a weird way. That might have happened. But the through Amazon products thing doesn't make sense. So we're going to take that out. I think I can fix the sentence and make that clear. Givers have the chance. So have the chance. This is like Sandra's just a little bit passive. So we're going to change that to just can. Why not? We can just be more direct. Givers can make a real impact, real qualifier, but it's not the most effective word we could use. Meaningful, potentially, would be a more fitting, emotion-driven word. Givers can make a real impact on, I'm going to say lives, because we want to promote a sense of doing this ongoing or doing it for more than one person, but just one life feels a little bit shallow. So on the lives of receivers, we're going to capitalize it because we're going to be consistent with customized gifts. So again, the customized thing, that's not really what's happening. Again, this is all made up. Potentially you could think it's that way, but it's not customized in the sense that it's like, putting someone's name on a water bottle custom. but it's customized in that they're asking for a custom list of gifts. So I would change that to, just for clarity, it's all about clarity. You want people to read this and it just to answer their questions before they have them, and then ideally not make them have more questions. Givers can make a real impact. Givers can, with all these, Givers can make a real, one more time. Givers can make a meaningful impact on the lives of receivers by purchasing from customized Amazon wish lists. Let's say that. So at the very least, that answers the question of like, how do people know what other people want? Givers can make a meaningful impact on the lives of others. I'm just going to say others. I guess I should say, I don't know. That's iffy. By purchasing from customized Amazon wish lists. From there, custom, and I would take out customized Amazon wish list. I don't know. I don't necessarily love this sentence, but I think it's better. Maybe. Throughout the gift giving process, I would make that a hyphen. Throughout the gift giving process, no money goes to administrative fees. Oh, look at you. You change it to administrative. Good job. Nice. And I like that this sentence is just clear and direct. It's a direct one-on-one relationship. It's is not super clear. So I would say like, not foster. I don't like that word, but that's the only one I'm thinking of right now. So that's what I'm going to put. It's not the word I want to stick with, but I'm going to move on. Foster a direct one-on-one relationship. Sign up today to join. You don't just sign up to this. Where's the verb? Sign up to join this safe and compassionate community. And I would say our. I know that that's a small detail, but it's that inclusion. It's talking from a we perspective as the brand. Sign up to join our. Okay. Share your story as a potential receiver, or go to our blog and get to know those in need of help to become a giver. So again, this is that overwhelmingly difficult challenge of how do you speak to two audiences at once. I would change it to like, we encourage receivers to share stories and ask for help on the blog. Givers can, but we already kind of said all this. Did we? Or was that someone else? Yeah, we kind of already did this up here. So maybe this doesn't need to be said, you know? If you've already said it, some things do need to be repeated. I'm not saying never repeat yourself, but I think that should just be moved elsewhere. So, but that kind of was already said. It's just on the blog, is not said yet. So we'll move that up there. We can just take this out completely. This, I'm just going to comment really quick on what you have. Get to know those in need of help. It's not the right phrasing. Get to just know those in need, because the of help is assumed. It's a little clunky. So we're going to take that out altogether because it doesn't need to be said. We could just chop it. And then that would even be more meaningful as a strong finish right here. So we'll just do this. Sign up today to join our safe and compassionate community. We can't wait to see the connections you'll make. I like ending with the we. It has this uplifting, optimistic, you know, like what's going to happen next kind of vibe. But I would maybe even do this if I'm being crazy. We can't wait to see the connections you'll make. Sign up today to join our safe and compassionate community. Only last note, and I'm not going to rewrite anything else on this, I think, but we want to focus on the end. So right now you're kind of making it sound like the big picture, biggest benefit is just joining a safe, compassionate community. But the big picture, big benefit is so much more than that. So I think it's a little bit limiting to focus on like the here and now immediate value. And I think this would be a really good moment to focus on, the friendships that are made around the world, changing lives, making a difference, feeling connected to other people, that kind of stuff. Like that's where we want the punch to happen at the very end. But in general, it's good. It just needs a little bit more oomph to it. Some of it feels a little repetitive and fluffy more than anything else. Okay, so thank you guys I've said this before, but thank you so much for taking part in this. I love to get comments on my videos, and it's just really cool to kind of see a better idea of what you guys are doing, but I'm curious to see what you guys think. And again, thank you so much to these 3 amazing subscribers for being willing to play along with me and take part. So super excited. I'm gonna go stop talking right now. I wish you all a very, very, very happy Thanksgiving, and just know that I'm so thankful for you guys and my 2,000 subscribers, which is really, really exciting. So thanks and happy Thanksgiving, and let's get back to work.